Hi, it's Terrie O'Connor again at Winning at Real Estate. So today I'm actually looking out at the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. I'm in Ocean Grove, New Jersey on my second floor porch. I'm standing over the beautiful green and pavilion and very, very happy to be here. We've all been sheltered in and we've all been tired of being home and isolated, and the world is opening up and so is our business, and it's nice to be back and talking with you again. In my last video, what I spoke about to you was clarity and the importance of clarity in moving forward, particularly now when we're all trying to move forward in the new world, the new norm, and try and get back to work and try and put our lives back in some kind of order that we know is different, but thought maybe we could do something from this wonderful time to be able to be with people again in some capacity. So part of what I want to talk about today is a bit of what we spoke about last time, which was clarity. But one of the things that we have to understand is when we're talking about clarity, one of the things that's so important is that we have principles that we know and adhere to that are our very own. How do you find principles? How do they develop in you? Where do you learn them? Well, most of us probably fundamentally learned the principles that we have from our parents. And growing up, we probably learned more things about what we believe from our church or synagogue, from our religious groups. We perhaps learned it from our teachers and our professors. We learned principles from our colleagues that we admire and from people that we read about, from our leaders. But in all of this, one of the important things that we have to talk about is how do you form your own principles and be able to adhere and be true to them, because it's through those principles that you personally believe in that will allow you to be able to take that personal principled self and make decisions carefully and have clarity in your life. So in your professional life, it's very important to be able to make decisions. It's absolutely critical to be successful. Some of the most successful people in the world, if you think of many of the people that you're already familiar with, but if you look at someone like Ray Dalio, who actually wrote a book on principles and founded Bridgewater, which is one of the most successful companies in the United States, and I think he's one of the top 100 wealthiest people in the world. He started out believing that it was important to understand what his principles were and to be able to employ them not only in his personal life and with his colleagues and so forth at business, but in all of the things that they made decisions about moving forward for all the people that were investing in their funds. So I think what we're really talking about is having an understanding of what we personally believe and staying true to those beliefs. It's critical. You can't vacillate. You have to be able to be sure too that they're your principles so that you can deal with it. So we all fail, let's face it. Every one of us has done things that if we could do it over again, we'd do it differently. The important thing about failing, in my opinion, and from my experience, is that in failing, you have to be able to get yourself back up and dust yourself off and move on. But the big mistake so many people make is they fail to do the self-reflection when they failed, to be able to understand what was it that they did wrong. You can't play the blame game. You can't blame other people for your failure. You have to really look at what did you miss? What did you not understand? What could you have done differently? So from my perspective, this is where your principles come into play, things that you truly believe in and that are really important. So what I would like to say today is you should think about where your principles came from. Write them down, understand what they really are. And when you're working with your colleagues within your company or with your clients, think about how important those principles are to being able to do the right job and do the right thing for your colleagues and clients. In your family life and personal life, aren't your principles essential? Is it not what helps you make good decisions in how you run your life and how you live with your family and your friends? You know, are you very generous? Are you very thoughtful? Do you collaborate with people? Do you make a difference because you embrace and have other people be, involved with you? What is it that makes you tick? Is it all about you, or is it all about the kinds of principles that you learned and the importance of sharing and learning and collaborating and being thoughtful of other people and acknowledging when they're successful? Great leaders are able to do that. Great leaders are able to let people know when they've done a good job. They also listen, and whether people have terrible opinions and don't do a very good job of it, they still acknowledge and allow people to speak and be able to participate. So if it's your kids talking to you with great ideas that you think are a bit nuts, or whether it's people who are in your business or your colleagues or your clients. And I think with principles, you also may decide at some point to even not work with a particular individual or person who is absolutely not in any alignment with anything you believe. So I think what helps us with clarity and what helps us make good decisions is the ability for us to understand what our own personal principles are, to be able to execute and make decisions knowing that we're doing them within the guidelines of what we believe and that we understand. So anyway, it's Terrie O'Connor, Winning at Real Estate. Think about your own principles, try and write them down, and see if that doesn't help you in the future with all the decision making and things that you have to do to be successful. Most successful people do this, and they understand very clearly what they believe. So take care. Again, Terrie O'Connor.